What is going on, everybody? So today, guys, we're going to be showing you one of my favorite builds now that it has got a rework. We know the Striker set got a rework in 16.1. And I'll tell you, I used to like this build a lot in 16. I didn't really like it because I felt the stacks were too hard to keep up. But in 16.1, the stacks are very, very easy to use. Probably one of the nicest Striker sets we've had in a while. I'm having a ton of fun with this. And if you pair it with the right talents, you pair it with the right setup, it does shred enemies, as you guys are seeing in this gameplay. Didn't have trouble with any of this heroic. And what the crazy part is, with the new rework, I'm able to keep my stacks between 175 to 200, which is crazy because before you barely had half a stack, right? So it really wasn't worth using the chess piece. But in Title Update 16.1 with the update, it's very easy to keep those stacks up. So 175 to 200 stacks, you'll be in that range most of the time, as long as you're hitting your shots. So let's see how I have this build. So I am running the Technician class for that Link Laser Pointer, so that is going to be the class I run for this. Also, it gives me one skill tier, so that's going to help my Defender Drone and my Pulse, and you'll see in a second. For the weapon, I'm running the Carbine 7, 109.5 thousand damage, 909 RPM, 50 round mag. We have 18% expertise damage on here. I spent those exotics, and I know. We have assault rifle damage, health damage, and damage targets out of cover. And then we have flatline. Amplifies weapon damage by 15% to pulsed enemies. Now, I love this because it's going to help amplify my weapon damage that I'm getting from this build. So this extra 15% is amplifying all of that. So that's what's actually pretty cool. And what's really cool about this is we're able to put a Link Laser Pointer on here. We have crit chance, we have 20 round mag, and a crit chance muzzle. Now, if you don't like running the Carbine 7, two other really good ones are the Kingbreaker, which is going to hit a lot harder, really slow firing though, and then we have the Police M4 that's going to hit a little bit harder, but the problem with this one is that the recoil is all over the place. So that's the one thing that I don't like about the Police M4. They're all really good to use. The Police M4 is one of my favorite ARs, but recently I've grown to really love this Carbine 7, and I just started to, since I did put some expertise levels into it, definitely performs very well. I pair that up with the Rock and Roll, and what the Rock and Roll is going to do is going to allow us to build those stacks. If we get a tanky enemy right in front of us, I'll pull out the Rock and Roll. With the 30 clip, if I can hit all 30 rounds, right, those slugs on him, I can actually build a full stack, maybe one off. Like if you go in the range and you slowly tap it, you'll notice you're almost off, and that's even with the Striker set slowly deteriorating at 3 stacks per second. So we're almost there. And then obviously if you reload once, you hit like I think 2 shots, it will automatically be at full stack. So that's just something for you to keep in mind if you test that out in the range. Just how I run it: shotgun damage, damaged armor, and damage to targets out of cover. Crit chance on the site, and then we have a Link Laser Pointer. So for the build, yes, we are running the Striker Battle Gear set. We're running a 4-piece. Remember, we're getting 15% weapon handling, 15% rate of fire, and then we have Striker's Gamble. Weapon hits increase total weapon damage by 0.65%, stacks up to 100 times. 1 stack lost per second, 0 to 50 stacks, 2 stacks lost per second between 50 and 100 stacks. So not hard at all. Now we have armor on here, we have crit damage, and we have a crit chance mod. For the chest piece, we have weapon damage, critical damage, and critical hit chance. But look at this, we have press the advantage. Increase max stacks from Striker's Gamble from 100 to 200. But what really changed this one was you only lose 3 stacks per second between 100 and 200. So that's why it's so much easier to keep those stacks up. As you guys were seeing in the gameplay, I was just able to keep my stacks as close as 175, 180. You can kind of see it's almost full, right? So way above the 50%, which you used to be able to keep in Title Update 16 and 16.1. It's a lot easier, and I think a lot of you guys will enjoy this, using this in group or solo play, having a ton of fun running this. Probably one of my favorite sets after rebuilding it in this update. Now I am running the new named holster with the new change, which we have the core attribute, we have armor on here, we have a critical chance mod, and then we have the 15% weapon damage down below. So ideally, if you wanted to go a little bit more I wouldn't say glass cannon, have more red cores, you could actually roll that core attribute to weapon damage once they allow to do this, once they update this. But for now, this is how I wanted to run it. I did want 3 blues and 3 reds on this build, well, 4 reds on this build, and you'll see in a second how I was able to pull that off. But if you guys want to drop one of the reds, or you want to add a red and you want to drop a blue, you can also do that too. Now for the knee pads, we have our 3rd piece of Striker's Battle Gear with weapon damage, critical hit chance. For the gloves, we have our fourth piece, weapon damage, critical damage of Striker's battle gear. And then you might have guessed it, the Memento backpack, that's how we're able to get 4 reds, 3 blues, and 1 yellow. So weapon damage, armor, skill tier. So now we have 2 skill tiers that are gonna help our defender drone plus our pulse. And then we have armor on here, and we have a critical hit chance mod. Now, obviously, with kill confirmed, once we get that full stack, we already have 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, 3% armor regen. Every time we pick up a trophy, that's gonna be 20% extra weapon damage, 30% extra bonus armor, and then obviously 5% skill efficiency. And that's why this build actually works very well. What really works well with it is because we have some type of survivability. With Striker Set, you guys know in Division 1, we had that armor regen. Well, you don't have that in Division 2. So to kind of give us armor regen, that's why we wanted to go with the Memento backpack. Because what that's going to do is give us 3% armor regen when we have that full stack. As you guys are seeing on my backpack, on my Memento symbol, we have 3% armor regen, which is better than not having none at all. Obviously, it doesn't compare to what we had in Division 1, but the damage is here. So the damage is here, it's able to keep the stacks up, and now we have some type of survivability because we do have the armor regen from the backpack. So obviously this build does excel once you guys get the full stack, because all the benefits of the Memento backpack paired up with the Striker Set works hand in hand. And then you pair that up with the flatline talent on the Carbine 7 and the Rock and Roll Shotgun, and you guys can just see the amount of damage we're doing, melting enemies in seconds. So that's why I honestly love this build. So I am running the Defender Drone, which is going to give me a damage reduction of 36% because I do have 2 skill tier on here. Plus, I like to run it with the pulse, but you guys can run whatever you want. If you want to run a decoy, if you want to run a sticky bomb, a turret, cam launcher, fire, whatever you want. But I actually like the pulse because I can see enemies, see the battlefield. It just helps me out, and that's why I'm running that. But the Defender Drone I think is key because of that damage reduction of 36% in PvE. If you look at the stats, we have 50% crit chance, 80% crit damage, 75% headshot damage, plus we have that 21% health damage, and then we get that 10% damage to targets out of cover. So a lot of damage on here, and remember, that amplified damage is gonna add on to that weapon damage that we have that we're putting out, right? And with Striker's battle gear, if you notice, there is a lot of damage that we're building up. And that's why this is my go-to build, guys. If you guys have any questions on how I have mine set up, please let me know in the comment section. If you have any recommendations, also let me know. But so far, Striker's battle gear 16.1 is absolutely a beast. So that's the build right there, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. But until then, hey, nothing but skills out.